is where all our money goes, these kind of things. Not CDs, though, more vinyl 7-inch records.
People do you who buy your records and go to the shows do you think are actually picking up on these things? Or does it matter to you?
That'd be nice if they did, but it's not necessary at all. These are things that mean something to us. It's like
they're not gonna.
I think there's some kind of magic involved when you put something in your songs that is a reference to something else, but nobody needs to know that. You know.
Oh, Daddy, oh, fly down Thunder Road. Daddy made mama, but she should have said no. On the rawhide farm, still laying #1. Yeah! Flash, 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 black and leather. Flash, 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 black and leather. Kill, kill, flash, black and leather. Flash, 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 black and leather. And the finish of the black, they'll never do.
By signing the contract for their latest record, Stay Sick, on Bella Lugosi. Suddenly it seems like the world is, just ready to greet the Cramps with open arms.
I think it is partly timing. The 80s were really depressing. There was no rock and roll, and maybe people are desperate. Right now it's, well, I don't know about Canada, but in America it's sort of the ultimate hysteria peak for, anti-drugs, anti-sex, anti-everything, I think there's gonna...
And it has to be sexually motivated, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a whole lot of elements to rock and roll that are not in pop music, Just danger, the
music for
urgency of it.
misfits, but there's, a lot of misfits out there.
Yeah, it's music to sharpen your switchblade by.
So it's popular music, too, because it's popular with a lot of misfits.
Whatever together.
Lucky 13.
How have you managed to stay together for 13 years? That's not a long time without getting serious success headed your way.
I don't know, I guess we feel like a big responsibility to our fans because so many of our fans are almost religious about us or something, so we feel like we're not allowed to quit, They wouldn't let us, We'd get in trouble if we did.
I think we're hopelessly unemployable doing something else, too, so we might as well keep doing this.
Well, I was interviewing The Mission the other day, and they were telling me they have fans called Eskimos. That's the names of their fans. And they follow them from gig to gig to gig, and they actually fly in from England and hang with them in America. I mean, they pay for it. The fans pay for this. And do you have anybody?
Well, we don't have anybody that flies from England to go to America, but when we're over in Europe, there are people from England that follow us all over Europe. They usually show up just about showtime, just covered with dirt and everything. They ride freight trains and everything else to get there, And they say, oh, Spike won't be here tonight. He's in jail. He got arrested on the way, stuff. But he'll be there 3 nights from tonight.
And you know all these people? Do you know their names? And
we get to know some of them.
Some of them become real good friends.
Because we just see them every night. And
come back every tour we do.
What is it about the Cramps that instills such... I don't know.
Well, we're a true rock and roll band, which is more than just a musical group. We kind of stand for something. We represent our fans and say the things that we think they'd want us to say. And
like what?
So it's a little bit we're diplomats in a foreign land or something. It's a foreign planet.
Now, I understand that you guys are not too thrilled that rock and roll is turning so goody-goody these days with let's save the environment I mean that it's not so much the voice of the youth, it's more like a voice of maybe establishment.
Yeah.
It's become respectable, and that's where the death of rock and roll is, in respectability. It should be music for misfits, it should be dangerous. I mean, I'm sure those causes are all good causes, but that's not the place of rock and roll. The purpose of rock and roll is instant gratification.
Yeah, it's like all these things, all these aid benefits and everything like that. It's like having a knife fight for the good of humanity or something. It doesn't make sense. rock and roll is juvenile delinquent music, you know, or else it's not rock and roll, it's just pop music.
I mean, and I mean that in the absolute
Maybe you
most
created them.
complimentary. Or you may have created one. Have you ever got like felt a parental responsibility for these people who have freaked out on your stuff?
No.
Oh my God.
No.
Responsible?
No.
I guess we're supposed to represent something, but I'm not sure what it is. But we must represent something.
But we're not responsible for what they do with it.
We represent irresponsibility.
You've been accused of being a misogynist band, that you send out negative feminine images.
That's pretty hard since the group is run by her. It's her fault.
Yeah.
She's against herself.
I co-write these songs, you know. Our songs have powerful imagery about women, you know, and maybe frightening, but I think, you know, he's told me I scare him.
I mean, we have like that song. We wrote that song, "All Women Are Bad," because we were being called sexist so much, and it's like, and now people are listening to that and saying it's terrible and how ridiculous. You know, people are getting very angry about that song. I can't believe that the women's movement has lost its sense of humor to that degree. You know, it's bizarre.
It's oppressive to think that men and women are the same. They're not. You know, they are different. You know, and there's freedom in realizing that thought, and there can be power. You know, women are powerful. There's a tradition in our music that a lot of people don't recognize because they're not familiar with early rock and roll and blues. I don't remember people saying that Howlin' Wolf or Muddy Waters were sexist, and a lot of the kind of mythological imagery that I guess about women in particular in songs is in that tradition.
All this brings us to your shoes. I mean, these are not comfortable shoes. I'm a woman. I wear shoes like that. Why would you pick shoes to wear like that?
Well, see, now you haven't been wearing men's shoes, so you don't know how uncomfortable they are.
Yes,
they're really
men's
heavy.
shoes on at the moment.
Well, I usually wear a boot. Those look a little lighter than the ones I use. A lot of times I wear boots, and they're real heavy. I've been wearing boots for the past 20 years or something, and these are very comfortable to me. They're so lightweight, especially nice on stage. I just have to lift my feet off the stage sometimes after wearing these big boots on stage.
You can always find them to fit you?
Yes, at the tall girls shop in every city you go to.
But aren't they expensive there, don't you find? I mean, I have big feet.
Yeah, they do cost a little more.
But they're worth it.
They're worth it. They give you that
And I like it
need.
yeah, they give them a wiggle and a scoot.
Talk about your own dynamic, but I'm really interested in how you keep each other going.
We support each other. I think a lot of people are alone, or maybe even their friends or family might cut them down or say, oh, you can't do that, or you try to do that, or there's too many guitars, or this and that. And we're like, we kind of take each other from the outside and only encourage each other. And so maybe that's an advantage, being part of the band.
Besides, we're constantly finding great things and showing them to each other, and it's fun. We enjoy sharing these things with each other.
Yeah, we don't ever say no to each other.
Do you consider your music as teenage music?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it should be teenage music. It's music that should horrify adults and please teenagers. I mean, that's how it started out anyway. I think that's what's wrong with rock music today. It's music for adults. It's respectable, and it's good, and it's art, and it's all these kind of things. That's fine for music, but people kind of don't understand the difference between rock and roll, which is a lifestyle, a fashion, a music, it's sexual intercourse, it's a lot of things, and rock music is just merely music. Rock and roll is much bigger than that, you know. Some people confuse rock music with rock and roll. Rock and roll is much better.
But I mean, the times have changed, you know, since the 50s. I mean,
yes, but good rock and roll is always good. I mean, we're not interested in playing 50 songs. That's why we write our own lyrics. But the thing that made rock and roll great in the 50s makes rock and roll great today. It's an urgency. It's a danger. It's a true kind of folk music based on the blues. It means something to people. It brings a certain kind of people together. You know, it separates the squares from the cool people. Pop music doesn't do that. Pop music is just for everyone's entertainment. You know, rock and roll is something more than that.
Yeah, and how about when the people that make the music, like you, I mean, you're no teenagers anymore.
Yes,
So-
well, you don't have to be a teenager, but it's music for It's music for the young at heart. I'll put it that way. It's music for people who. It doesn't matter how old you are. What matters is your outlook. You know, I know people who are 18 who are old and boring already. You know, I think some people grow up and then realize it's not what it's cracked up to be, and realize that the things that you thought when as a youth are where it's at. You know, it's what it's all about.